Hello, beautiful rainbow chorus singer. My name's Tom Auger, and I'm doing a series of tutorials for people that are new to reading vocal music and just covering some of the basics. We've had tutorials on finding your range and reading where the notes are, the different lengths and durations of notes, some things around timing, and we're going to get back into more complicated rhythms and how more complicated rhythms are written and can be counted. So take a look at this score here. We've got a soprano part and we've got an alto part here. And you can see that the notes try to line up, but they don't always line up. And that's because these two parts have very different rhythms. As you can guess, the alto rhythm is very steady. You'll notice that this note is further apart from this note or from that note. That's irrelevant. Makes no difference at all. So the distance between notes in the staff means nothing. It's just there from a spacing legibility perspective. So the fact that there's more gap here doesn't mean that this note is slower or anything. What is important though is understanding that these are quarter notes, which means that each quarter note lines up on the beat. We're in a 4/4 time signature, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And all the parts are still counting the same beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just that the soprano part has a different rhythm within that beat. So where the alto is very steady, the soprano is. So this note was held longer. This note is an eighth note, and so it's half as long. And then this and that note go back on the beat. Here, we've got this note lines up on the beat. These are 2/8 notes. 2/8 notes take up the same amount of space rhythmically as a quarter note. So we get 2 of those for one of these. This one lines up on an 8th rest, so there's no note being played here, but it's still taking up space from a rhythmic perspective. Then the 8th note here comes halfway on the beat. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly halfway in the spacing. We just know that's an 8th note, that's an 8th note, or rather that's an 8th rest, that's an 8th note. So it's the same rhythm as these guys, dut, 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 but we just don't sing that note. And same with this one, we don't sing that note. We've got one here, and then these 2 half notes line up on the beat. So where the alto rhythm is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The soprano rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I kind of messed that counting up, didn't I? I hope Allison doesn't watch this one. When I was like, 16 or 17, and I was her piano student, she was drilling rhythm in this into me. So if I get it wrong, then she'd be very disappointed. So let's look at how we write this so that we can understand better how to read it. The first one is a quarter note that gets held longer than a quarter note ought to hold, and that's indicated here by the dot. So this is called a dotted quarter note. That means that it's getting half again its length. So a quarter plus an eighth. So that's why this guy can then come in directly halfway between this note and that note, because this is being held for exactly half as long. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, and 3, 4. 1, and 3, 4. Okay. Hope that starts to make sense. When you take a note, you add a dot to it, you're going to make it hold half again as long as that note. So there's not enough room to get another quarter note in here because we're taking up that space duration-wise, and this guy has to come in on the middle of that beat 2. So it comes in on the and. 1, 2, and 3, 4, if we're counting. This second section is also really interesting, and I find it even harder to count because the beat here, 1, 2, 3, 4, is actually silent, and the note comes in after the beat. This is very common in popular music. You'll hear a lot, we're seeing a lot of this kind of stuff. It's called syncopation. You'll hear it in classical music for sure, a lot in jazz, and a lot in pop music. Here's how these two measures would sound. So that beat in between, I'm moving my shoulders to remind me that there's a beat there, but I'm not sounding on it, right? You don't have to look foolish like me there when you're doing it. I'm kind of exaggerating, but you feel that. And then to really be syncopated, that's a tongue twister, you really want to kind of still put the emphasis on the offbeat. You may have heard someone say it's on the offbeat. And that just gives it more movement. It drives it toward that next measure, doesn't it? Compare that to the lower one, which is kind of plodding along, right? So for this one, we're going to count 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, count with me. This is the only way you're going to get better at it. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can clap to that. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So it tends to be easier to hear a rhythm and clap along than it is to read the rhythm and know exactly how to clap it, right? Or sing it for that matter. So the reading of various syncopated rhythms becomes really challenging part of learning music. But now, hopefully, you understand at least the basics of it. I bet you that without looking at the music, you can still remember that syncopated rhythm, can't you? Right? So I think don't be too scared of this stuff. With the harder rhythms, we are going to learn them together, in rehearsal. So, but it's important to sort of understand how those things line up in the score. You can see that there's definitely, it doesn't matter how far things are spaced apart, but it is important that the notes line up, and you can get a sense that, this note here isn't lining up with this because the rest is the piece that's lining up. Well, I hope this has been another useful tutorial. By all means, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you either in the next one or at rehearsal.